This should be interesting.
Alright, hello and what is up everybody? Welcome back to game 3 between LGD and Virtus Pro in the Summit 7. This, I did call this the group stages, it's actually just the real tournament here. We're in the semifinals right now in the upper bracket, so that is the reason why the winner of this series will get a guaranteed top 3 finish at the Summit 7. And it is a big deal for these teams, and if they can win this tournament, it might just be what edges them over to just guarantee their direct invite to TI7. So it is an important tournament for all these teams right now, especially the teams that don't really
It's almost time for everything
have
to
that
die.
guaranteed spot quite yet. So I believe for LGD for sure, it's important for them. Same thing for Virtus Pro. They did get second place at Kiev, so I would say this is a little bit more important that LGD does better at this tournament than Virtus Pro, because I feel like Virtus Pro's spot at the international might just have been guaranteed with their placement at was it Kiev, but you never know for sure how Valve works. Just from previous history and how they've been running the majors, it seems like Virtus Pro already set for an invite. Just because if you look at Adfinum, they did also receive an invite to Kiev, as even though they're showing after Boston Major wasn't so good, they did second place at Boston Major. But enough of that. Let's get into the game here, and most notably the drafts. So once again, LGD gonna get Old 11's Batrider. Victoria once again will be on the Sand King here, and he's gonna immediately start in the mid lane to help out maybe. It's gonna start out as a dual lane versus dual lane. No one actually is gonna take the mid lane Troll here against maybe. Decent matchup for Troll Warlord, especially with some help. Switch between ranged and melee even later in the game. I feel like Troll does really good against Storm. If you look at Virtus Pro's lineup, they don't really have anything to lock down the Storm directly in terms of like a Hex or a Silence or anything like that. Of course, they have RP and the Void for the big Wombo combo ultimate, but even if Storm doesn't end up getting caught in those, Troll Warlord is a hero that can just man up on Storm's period. If he gets caught in maybe a stun or just in a bad position, let's say he gets slept and the Troll Warlord gets on top of him, it just might be lights out for maybe, as the bashes will come in and Troll will dish out an absurd amount of damage, especially with the Elder Titan later in the game providing the natural order. So I'm just watching the mid lane, as I feel like this is going to be where most action is going to play out, as I say that Victoria gonna get a stun here onto Lil. He might have given away first blood here to Maybe. He will. Maybe gonna secure that kill. He got a little bit too overly aggressive there, while in the top lane, Ramsey's gonna take out Old 11. Even though he did take a lot of damage there, he has a salve. Looks like he turned that one around with his magic stick. Well played for him there. Well, if you look at Solo, he's not contributing much to this top lane, as he can't really do much to zone out a Batrider. Instead, he's going to be upping his team's farm by stacking up the jungle, in addition to his small camp also being blocked here. And he doesn't actually have a sentry quite yet, so he just play jungling Coddle pretty much. While we look at Lil gonna try to secure the mid lane for no one, but instead he ended up feeding away a kill, which is unfortunate. But he's looking to take out Victoria here, but a nice stun, bring him to the high ground, will get him away. So once again, LGD looking like they're off to a pretty good start here in terms of their early game. They do lose Old 11 in this offlane 1v1, but this is a matchup for Void where even Void can hang, but it's still going to be rough for him, no matter how many kills. Well, I would say no matter how many kills he gets. If he completely just like feeds on Old 11 constantly, of course he'll pull ahead. But as long as Old 11 contests each kill, by that I mean that he does a lot of damage to Old 11, or to Ramses, I mean, with each death he has. Ramses will have to force to ferry out regen, or at that point Old 11 is going to come back in. He can't really lane anymore. As we see now, there's still a lot of pressure being put onto Ramses, him having to constantly use his time walk to get himself away, because he doesn't want to get too many napalm stacks up on him. He does have a 10 stick charge here. I don't talk much about this bottom lane at all, but we're going to see Ame on this event. Something that Virtus Pro ran in the first game, but this time LGD going to pick it up. Let's look at how he matches up against Virtus Pro here, and I feel like the Sven was a pretty early pick. Once again, I tried to catch the draft, but I'm distracted and didn't catch it again. I caught the end of it, but I didn't really see the pick order or anything like that, but regardless of that, it's going to make these videos a little bit shorter, less talking for me, as well as I'm going to do the full 3-game series. Of course I am. This is the third game. I already did the first 2. Oh, Victoria trying to go for a stun here onto Solo, but he'll not connect, and Old 11 going to back himself away as well. He does have Firefly, and he's actually going to pull the creep wave away and probably under his tower. How is Yao doing this bottom lane? Looks like he's stacking up here for Sven, and they'll be able to farm that later. They've completely pushed Pasha out of the lane for now. He's just going to be picking up a bounty rune right now, maybe jungling. Nah, he's going to head back to lane. He is kind of low on mana. His HP is not full either. There's a lot of stacks for Virtus Pro in the jungle right now, as we see another gank here onto no one. He falls on very low, but he might just survive or deny himself to a shot here. Oh, nice juke from no one. Walking into the Rosh, but he's going to turn it around as well. He has to watch out from the sandstorm damage, though. But he does get himself away. Bottles up as well. Huge play there from no one. Managed to juke, and with Solo coming in, they get a kill there onto Victoria. Old 11 is here, though. Solo might be in a lot of trouble. He doesn't have boots, and they're not going to go for the dive, though. He gets away just with the windlace, and he's going to nuke out the wave. No one gonna shine up now with Solo, and big play there from no one to get himself out of that scenario. So back to talking about the draft here. I believe I like Virtus Pro's draft a little bit more in terms of how they can execute it. I did mention that Troll matches up fairly well against the Storm Spirit. LGD is really reliant on getting a good early game, and then afterwards getting super good initiations with Bat Rider or Storm Spirit coming in. If they ever get hit by Virtus Pro's full combination at any point, Virtus Pro can come back in the game no matter how far they fall behind. You can be 10,000 gold behind, and if you chrono the enemy, you RP the enemy, you drop an Earth Splitter onto them with a Natural Order, Coddle Blast, you're going to win that team fight. So LGD is going to be able to probably dominate this early game, as it looks like they've done a good job so far. They put a decent amount of pressure on every single lane. Except for the mid lane, I would say no one has had the best lane out of any on his team. Even though that they did lose Mill there very early, as we're going to see a fight break out here. No one will go down. Very bad for him, and oh no. Here's the Bat Rider happening as everyone is standing in the Firefly. They're going to go down. That's a triple killer. He's upside down right now. What is he doing? He's Bat Rider. He's Old 11. He's getting the kills. This is just a hero that he looks super dominant on right now. And he has a full drums pickup. And he'll have his blink shortly after that as well, I'm assuming, as I don't see Virtus Pro having to answer to bat at this point. Because they have really no way to lock him down reliably without using a big ultimate. At that point, their team fight's a lot weaker, and there's not even a guarantee that he goes down in the RP or the chrono at this point. He's fairly tanky once he picks up his drum. If he even decides to go for the drums, he might just see his gold and he's like, alright, I'm just going to go for blink. To go for a super early blink, and at that point, he's going to be the one initiating. No one went from doing fairly well, but if you look at net worth right now, we see that it is entirely LGD favor. As long as they can keep this up, of course, I did mention before, they have to play not careful, but they have to watch themselves. They need to make sure they get good initiations off on key targets. They don't really want to go on heroes like the Troll, where it can easily get turned around on them. If an RP comes out, a Chrono, they want to always pick off an Initiator or a hero that can turn the fight, such as the Void or the Magnus, or even the Elder Titan. Kato wouldn't be bad pickup either. So pretty much anyone except for the Troll. They really want to avoid initiating onto no one unless he's really out of position and they can pull him far away from his team with a lasso. And they have the heroes to do so. Storm can respond from a very long range with his ultimate, of course, with the ball lightning. Batrider will have a blink dagger, and he does not decide to go for a blink. He goes for his jumps first. That's going to give him a lot of tank. He's going to farm up towards his blink, and he'll get his way there. You look at the Storm's farm, and he's currently at the top of the net worth. He's pretty fat at this point. And there's Pro looking to stop that as they're going to commit the Chronosphere. No one comes in as well. They will find the kill there on to maybe. In the meantime, Ame is just farming up a big ancient stack here. He has to be a bit careful, because he did get hit by the Desecrate. He's losing his armor, but looks like he's going to be okay, and he's going to clean up that stack. In the meantime, Solo was smoked up, managed to place an aggressive ward here, spotting out LGD's Ancients. Very important when you're playing against a Sven to have a vision over the Ancient area, and that means you can spot out the stacks, stop him from taking stacks, steal his stacks, kill him, and it opens up your plays. Unfortunately for Virtus Pro, Sven has already farmed this one, but they're going to be able to stack or block it to prevent further spawning of this ancient camp. Meanwhile, what is maybe... Alright, there's a bit of a weird sound glitch there, I think. There's just lightning making a bunch of static noise with his ultimate there, but stops. You look at Lil, and he's actually just trying to get a little bit of farm up here in the top lane. He's running into trouble as Old 11 going to catch him out with 3 napalm stacks. Going to push him back with the flame break, and that's going to be another kill for Old 11. Dominating streak for him. In the meantime, Virtus Pro looked like they did clean up the stacks in the jungle, so fortunately for them, it will not get stolen by maybe or Batrider or anything like that. As for Pasha, let's check out his farm real quick, as his Blink Dagger is fairly important to Virtus Pro in this game. He's not their only initiator, as they have a Void as well as the Chrono, and is not up quite yet. And Rams is actually going to go into the Mask of Mana's build, something you don't see from Void too often anymore. Most of the time they're going for Vlad's, but maybe from a carry Void position, this is going to help him farm a lot faster in terms of using it in fights. Maybe not the best, as it's going to prevent him from using his other abilities like Time Walk and Time Dilation, but I mean, it's a lot of damage. If he goes in there with Time Walk, gets a Chronosphere, pops Mask of Madness, he's gonna doing a lot of damage, especially when the bashes come out. And not to mention, he's also with the Troll as well, so he's gonna be hitting hard and fast. And they're gonna commit the Chrono here for the kill onto Old 11, while Pasha went down in the bottom lane there to Ame. And we do have a lot of levels on the support on the side of LGD, most notably now. He's already level 7, has been maxed out Cold Feet, and it's a pretty big deal for Virtus Pro in these fights, as they already have a lot of lockdown. If they get rooted by that Cold Feet, this Troll is not hitting anyone at that point. He's frozen. Frozen is solid. Lil is doing some triple stack plays here. Look at that, sick. He gets all 3 stacks up. So this is just the name of Virtus Pro's game right now. They're just gonna stack it up, stack it up, stack it up, and farm, and just try to get as much farm in the map as possible and just hold. They know they have the superior team fighting lineup, and it's up to LGD to pressure them. If LGD is not putting pressure, they're gonna take that time and farm up as much as possible. And as I say that, LGD looking for some action right now as they're moving into Virtus Pro side of the map. They might find Pasha once again, but he backs himself off. They do have this dire ward here, and he's gonna get himself to safety. And you just look at maybe farming super aggressively right now on enemy jungle, and now he's gonna push out the mid wave. Let's check the net worth on the Sven right now, and he's gonna build straight into a halberd. Pretty good against the Troll Warlord, not just pretty good, very good against the Troll Warlord. Even when he gets BKB, of course, it's not going to prevent the halberd from shutting him down, as long as they get it out before he gets the BKB. Look at the Troll Swarm, is actually doing okay. Went for the Yasha first off. As Ramses does have his Mask of Madness now, he'll be building into a Diffusal Blade, the Mana Burn, very big against Storm Spirit, even Sven. Having that Diffusal will allow them to get rid of the Warcry, so I really like the build coming out from Ramses right now. Looks like no one is building in terms of farming build right now, going straight into the Joshua, give him that extra move speed, attack speed as well, allow him to farm up a lot faster. But we see LGD starting to put pressure onto the lanes right now. They're going to take the safe lane tower away from Virtus Pro, while Virtus Pro made a sharp move into LGD's jungle. They're looking to go for a bit of a late trade here, and we see an empowered troll start to wail on this tower. The rest of Virtus Pro looking for some kills here, but they won't find anybody as LGD themselves also migrated into Virtus Pro jungle. As for Ward vision, we do see that Virtus Pro kind of have the better vision right now in terms of aggressive vision on the map as well as defensive vision. Only one ward from LGD at this point. As the team fight breaks out, we're going to see a lasso there onto Solo, but big ultimate now from Ramses as well as Lil. They get the combo, Chronosphere into Earth Splitter, and they're going to get a kill there onto Ame, but now Maybe comes in and he's just cleaning up along with Old 11, the Firefly. Just way too much damage, and they take out everybody there except for Ramses. And speaking of Ramses, he still might be in trouble here, but I think they're going to leave him be. Mans up a little bit with Massive Madness, but without any abilities, no blink onto the Sand King, there's no way to catch him, and they're gonna let him go. Kato respawns, tries to defend this tower with Illuminate. Just have to watch out though. They might go back in on him. Maybe his mana still looking pretty decent, but with the Elder Titan showing up as well and the creeps not being in position to dive, they're just gonna back off. And we see there that LGD's team fight is no joke either. Virtus Pro might have the lockdown, but LGD for sure had the damage. And we didn't even have to use Epicenter in that fight. It was just purely Firefly damage from the Storm as well as the Ice Blast. Most notably there. It still will not be an easy game for LGD in terms of trying to end it against Virtus Pro. They did accrue a pretty big net worth advantage at this point, about to approach 6,000, and they just need to keep this up. The Storm approaching his Bloodstone will have it in a short amount of time. We'll probably get around a 17-18 minute Bloodstone here, as we see Virtus Pro back to farming a little bit, but they're looking to make a play here. Chronosphere is cooling down in about 14 seconds. They also have reverse polarity as well as the blink onto Pasha, so they're looking to make a play. Where are they going to go exactly, as LGD are not really showing on the map at this point. They're smoking themselves and they're heading straight towards no one, and this is bad for him. And they drop the ward, give vision onto the high ground. There's the Ice Blast. That's an easy kill for them. The rest of the team is looking to catch the stragglers here, and they're going to come in with Ramses. RP comes out from Pasha, hits onto 2, but Old 11 survives. He's very tanky with the drums. He's going to fly to the high ground. There's no way to catch him now, and the stun comes out from Ame, and they might have just overextended themselves here. Soul gonna go down. Look at the damage from Ame. Lil trying to stall, but he'll cancel his stomp actually, and he's gonna go down now most likely. He's gonna get slowed down by the Storm Spirit, chased out. Old 11 comes in from behind. He goes down. The Pasha is the only survivor. He'll be able to skewer himself away, blink to the high ground, and he's gonna get out. And these fights are happening before Victoria has his blink. Just imagine that he has his blink here, and I don't think anyone from Virtus Pro survives. And so LGD really making the adjustment here against Virtus Pro. And I really like that interview that Maybe gave, where he was like, what happened to you guys game 2 against NP? And he was just like, we had some issues in the early game, we adjusted it, and they were able to just dominantly take that game against NP. And it looks like they've done the same against Virtus Pro now. Where in the first game, they looked like they weren't well adjusted to what Virtus Pro wanted to do, and after game 2, they feel like they have a very good read on Virtus Pro, and it's most notably this Batrider pick that is getting a lot done for them here. And once again, Batrider tries to go in for a lasso, but this time around, Lil with the preemptive stomp, the Chronosphere, and that's so much hate for Old 11 now. But once again, as I said, they don't have the best lockdown for Bat Riders. They don't have any hero that just really just straight up stuns him, locks him down so they can kill him. So they'll have to commit the Chronosphere for Bat, and that's going to open up an opportunity for LGD to go for Roshan now without the Chrono on the side of Virtus Pro. They still have the RP. Without the Chrono, they're feeling confident to go for this one. And it doesn't actually look like Virtus Pro even know that this is going on, so they might have just snuck Roche right under Virtus Pro's noses here. And they have pretty good team fight here, as well as Victoria will have his Blinker right now. They have the Ice Blast, and Bat Rider is spawning soon. Yao going to show himself in the mid lane. They're going to pop the scan here onto Virtus Pro's strength to make sure that no one has TP'd in. And it looks like they will get Roshan uncontested here. Meantime, Virtus Pro was just farming up. They're actually afraid of a potential gank or something coming in with their Chronosphere down, but it was actually just LGD doing Roshan. And now we look at Ame's items. He has his Massive Madness, complete Blink Dagger, as well as have the Tower, so this troll is really no problem. We see a long jump here onto no one. The Ice Blast will actually not hit, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go down anyway as Victoria comes in with the stun. So what I was saying before, it was LGD dominating fights before Victoria's stun, but once he has his I say stun, his blink. Once he has his blink stun, there's no way that any of them escape. And you see there, they're even gonna dive for more onto the tier 3 and take out Solo. In the meantime, Ramsey's just split pushing the mid lane, but even he is feeling a bit anxious in this mid lane here. Doesn't want to get caught out. Instead, he's gonna give up hitting the tower and actually gonna just hit some ancients. Even gonna stop doing that as he sees Victoria rotate in. What the fuck did I just say there? Ame and maybe hitting the top tower now. Take out the creep wave as well, but now the TP's coming in from Solo. Lil tries to get a stomp, but that's not very reliable in terms of catching out heroes like Storm Spirit or even Bat Rider. As he's moving fairly fast. They do get the Mana League onto him. They're going to secure him back, and he is in a lot of trouble here, even though he does have Firefly. That's not going to help him get out. But here comes the Epicenter coming in from Victoria, but he doesn't actually have mana for stun, so he's going to Epicenter absolutely nothing. And the rest of LGD just going to get themselves out. They don't want to get caught out at this point by a Chrono or RP or anything like that. So they'll lose Ode 11, but they'll get out just fine with the rest of their heroes. And at this point, LGD, they are ahead. If you look at the net worth, they're going to probably be about around 10,000 gold ahead. But they still need to find a way to end this game against Virtus Pro's insanely good high ground holding lineup with so much team fight. And you see here, Virtus Pro's not afraid. They realize that they can still be the aggressors in these scenarios when they have their ultimates up. And they're actually going to rotate all the way into LGD's jungle with the smoke, but I think they realize this might not be the best idea as their troll is not with them. And there's no way that no one can be with them as well. He doesn't have a TP. This is actually flying out to him now. Actually, no. It's just his BKB. And he still won't have a TP. He's going to deny onto the tower. He has to watch himself, though, as the rest of LGD going to head to him. Not the rest, that's all 5. They're going to find initiation, and he's going to go down just like that. Ice Blast, God Strength committed, Storm initiation, and they still have the lasso. So anyone else who shows up gonna get lassoed in and bursted down. This is not looking good for Virtus Pro, as no one is dead for another 30 seconds, no buyback, and at any point Bat Rider is gonna come in, get a lasso, and that's them losing another hero, probably having to be forced to buy back. Virtus Pro drop a high ground ward there. He gets immediately dewarded. That's unfortunate for them, and doesn't look like Bat Rider will find anyone, so as this Firefly ends, they're going to back away, and we see Ame TP into the bottom lane, and this is going to open up opportunity to Virtus Pro in terms of trying to catch out a hero, as they realize this will be a potentially 4v4/5v4 fight once no one respawns, because Sven is all the way in the bottom lane here, and LGD gonna make the smart move here and back away on all their heroes, but they're not completely backing. They're sticking around, potentially looking to turn around into anybody who moves too far forward alone. And that hero will be Ramsey's right now, potentially, as they're spotting him out near the ward. They do realize that he's most likely alone, and he realizes that as well, and he's gonna back himself away. But look at LGD's positioning right now. They're just waiting for someone to show up in this top lane. They're actually going to commit the Ice Blast very long range here onto Ramses, and it's going to catch him off guard as Storm jumps in, and he's going to take down very low from this Ice Blast, this Frostbite, but he'll not go down. He gets himself away. Narrowly dodges a bullet there. If Storm jumped from a little bit longer, so he did just slightly more damage there with his jump, they might have gotten the kill there, but fortunately for no one, that wasn't the case, and he's gonna get out. Or for Ramses, I mean. And we see that the rest of LGD still looking to set up in this top lane. Oh, they're gonna see Ramses. He's probably not thinking they would wait around this long for him, but it's just gonna spend a little bit of time there to push out the wave, and they don't have eyes onto the rest of Virtus Pro, so Old 11 will not feel quite confident going for that one, especially with maybe not quite ready to go for that gank. If maybe it was in a better position, I would think that Old 11 would go, but that was just not the case. I don't think the supports were quite ready as well, and they're just afraid that it was a bait, so I'm just gonna stick around for now, waiting for their time while we see Virtus Pro realize that something is up. No one is showing inside of LGD, and they just gonna position themselves in the bottom lane instead, where they're not gonna be at risk of a Bat Rider coming out of the trees and surprising them with a lasso. You see Ame has been farming up this whole time. He does have his completed BKB now, and we see Victoria going to be building into his next item as well. He has a 4 staff. The Orchid is up onto maybe. It's very important. And we see Bat Rider actually trying to mess around here in this jungle. And he gets caught out by Ramses, but Ramses did not want to use the Chronosphere there. He tries to get a bash to cancel the TP, but will not luck out, so Old 11 will get away. We see no one now farming in LGD's jungle. They're still positioning some heroes in this bottom area as they relocated themselves, realizing that there's probably some gank set up on them. We just saw Ramses there, how he's farmed the top lane. He hit the wave and backed away immediately with his time walk. And now they're looking to maybe do some of their own baiting here in the bottom lane, as no one was pushing in, and now he's just hiding in the trees. Staying in the trees, he wants to go on to Old 11. He's going to show himself now and make himself a juicy target for this lasso. He will get lassoed. He does have a haste room though, but it's going to be followed up by a stun and an epicenter. Ice Blast comes out as well, but he does get his BKB off. I did mention before, no one is not really the hero that LGD wants to go on, so this is a potential for Virtus Pro to get off a good fight, but unfortunately, Pasha didn't get his RP off. He couldn't get his blink, and he just gets caught out and taken out by the Sven, Ame, and that was a potentially good fight for Virtus Pro, but it just did not work out. Ramses wasn't there, I believe, and he might have just TP'd out immediately once that fight looked bad. And they were like, alright, no one's dead for sure. It might have been some miscommunication there, it seems, because if Ramses was there with the Chrono, that was a potential for a decent fight. Lasso was already used, no one managed to survive, and he was there to dish out the damage, but no one was there to follow up, so he's gonna have to run himself away, and instead they lose Pasha, as well as was it Lil or Solo? One of the supports. Let's check. That will be Solo. Solo is having a pretty sad Kato game, by the way. He's just, his level's okay, level 11, but just look at his net worth. 1,600 net worth on a Kato. That's not something like to see. He's pretty much fodder right now. He's not really doing much of anything in these team fights. His biggest asset really being this mana leak, just to annoy heroes. See no one. We'll be building into Diffusal Blade. Once again, very good item against Sven to get rid of the Warcry. They already have one onto Ramses, and they're going to double up. Good against the Storm as well, of course. Burning his mana is important. And we see Pasha going to be building into a Shadow Blade to make sure he can get the RP off. As you saw in that last fight there, he just simply wasn't able to. Couldn't get his blink off, or I don't know what happened there, but he just got caught out in general. Easily like 3-shotted by Ame. And we do see that Yao does go for a Midas, so it's gonna hold it up there to make sure he gets some late game item, but at this point it's just gonna be a Midas, and that's it for now, as he's still buying the majority of the rewards, as Victoria is the 4 position. And AA is a fighting hero, as he's really useful as long as he's able to hit his ultimate, so it doesn't really matter what item he buys. Sometimes we want him to go a little more support items like Urn or something like that, Force Staff, Glimmer, just any item he can get, but LGD feel like they can get away with the Midas this game, so if this thing does go late, it's gonna mean that he'll get up to that Ags, where if he was just playing 5 position without a Midas, there's no way he was gonna get the Ags. The best he can hope for is like a Solar Crest or like a not even that, just something like a Medallion or an Urn, and that's probably it. But just look at his net worth. He's doing a hell of a lot better than Solo. And there's going to be a bit of a lull right now as we see LGD going to wait for Roshan. And they do see that it has spawned. Ame just hiding himself in the trees here. I'm not so sure what their plan is. It's actually quite strange what they're doing right now. They're just sitting around. Maybe waiting for Virtus Pro to come into them. They're maybe suspecting Virtus Pro wants to make a play around Roshan at this point, and you just see that Ame just hasn't been farming. He's been sitting around and waiting for a fight, or he's always being in a position that he can come in with his BKB and just melt a target or something. But doesn't look like anything gonna break out, so he will go back to farming, not wanting to waste any more time. You see that Pasha does pick up his Shadow Blade now, as well as Lil nearing his Force Staff. Let's look at the rest of the items here. They have the Fuse onto the Troll. Did Void get another item? He will go for a Link as he has the Ultimate Orb, but no new item quite yet. And now LGD gonna lock themselves into Roshan. They will be under Virtus Pro vision. At least Victoria will, and Virtus Pro for sure know what's going on here. And see, Ame just back out, but he might want to go in here. He's going to blink aggressively here onto Lil, and he's going to immediately delete him. Now the BKB going to come out. The lasso going to be onto the Troll Warlord, and there's no way that no one survives here. And they're going to jump deep in the backline here as well onto Ramses and take him out simultaneously with Maybe and his Orchid. That's going to be 4 kills for LGD. They just wanted to bait Virtus Pro in that position, and they jumped on the opportunity set up by this ward here, and now they're gonna go into Roshan. Oi, 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 oi. Spam is Pasha Basha, but it's not gonna save them now, as now there's gonna be an Aegis Storm coming in with a high ground push potentially. And the rest of the 3 heroes that will not be working on Roshan are going to push into the mid lane. They have a catapult, luckily, to help them out a little bit as well. Now, Virtus Pro heroes are going to start to respawn, and they will back themselves away. In the time they do get the Aegis, they get the cheese as well. Both will be picked up by the Storm Spirit, and Ame is going to head himself to the top lane. He will be building into a Bloodthorn, already has the Crystallis. The rest of the LGD position into Virtus Pro's jungle farm in a pretty aggressive position here, but they feel pretty confident at this point. Once again, the only catch on the side of Virtus Pro is big ultimates, and there's really nowhere for them to just casually like take out a target, right? Like once again, and that's the reason why Bad Rider has given them such a hard time, because they want to be able to lock him down and kill him, but without committing Chrono, without committing RP, they just simply can't do so. And instead, you see Bat Rider running havoc in these fights. And now, once again, he's going to get a lasso onto no one, but unfortunately, he will be punished. Oh no, Yule's surviving, or keeping him alive for now. He will drop the gem, but now, maybe coming back in, the RP potentially coming out here, and this might be a huge turnaround for Virtus Pro. And oh no, maybe not, as Ame has arrived and he's cleaving through these heroes. Maybe respawns with the Aegis. He has the cheese now as well, and it's just way too much heroes for Virtus Pro to deal with. That was a sick combo, but they did not even manage to take out the AA or the Sand King. They both live on a sliver HP. They recover the gem, and Ame just comes in and cleans up. They just don't have the damage output. The Troll Warlord was dead there, and without him, sure, they had the Earth Splitter, everything, but just wasn't enough damage. Look how tanky this Sven is. They did take out Maybe, and of course he had the Aegis there. Go push high ground now, take out a tier 3 for themselves, and this is a very strong showing from LGD. Just every way they played this game pretty much prevented Virtus Pro from taking any team fight that would be resulting in them accomplishing anything on the map. pretty much every single fight from LGD was a win. Anytime Virtus Pro got a kill was irrelevant, I would say. And now they're going to jump deep here, get another kill onto Lil. They're just diving tier 4s at this point. They're feeling confident. Now we're going to see a lasso onto Ramses. He's going to die. And I wouldn't be surprised if GG is called soon. We're going to see a pause. What? Alright, they're going to disconnect. They're done. They are done. GG is called. LGD dominating victory against Virtus Pro. Once again, I feel like they were a little bit confused in what they wanted to do there, especially in that bottom lane engagement where they went onto the Troll Warlord. I felt like half the team wanted to just go there and protect Troll, and then at the same time, Pasha just walks in, gets his blink cancelled, or just gets initiated on. I don't think his blink was cancelled. He used his blink to get there in time, so he didn't have his blink cooldown. So he just ended up dying there. It was just a wash of a fight. They lost the Magnus. They were just losing heroes, and that was their chance to get a big fight off. And after that, the Troll just wasn't able to survive. I did say before they didn't want to go on the Troll, but if he was lassoed, initiated on, and bursted immediately by the Sven, where we saw it happen multiple times in this game, where if you get lassoed, Storm would jump from a long distance, and then no one would just be dead. It happened most notably in that top lane. Forgot what heroes were involved actually, but I remember no one just getting deleted, and just LGD with the superior initiation. Once again, sure, Virtus Pro had the better team fight, but they can never get off their spells because LGD is always the one initiating onto them first. It's gonna cause a fight where it will be uneven in the favor of LGD, as not all of Virtus Pro will be ready at the beginning of the fight. Ideally, what will happen, right, is they go into the target, and then they're there. They're already there, and they're going to be able to counter-initiate it with RP and the Chronosphere, but that was never the case for them. Every time a target would get gone on, and they weren't ready, they would just get picked off one by one, and then the Sven would just come in and just clean up the fights. And he just got way too fat, way too quickly. The AA also being a big factor in this game in terms of just having that extra damage output to burst down a hero. I would say MVP of the game definitely had to be the Bat Rider, though. He created so much space for his team throughout the early and mid game that Virtus Pro just felt like they didn't have an answer to this Bat. Old 11's Bat definitely giving them a run for their money in both Game 2 and Game 3, and they will be knocked down to the lower bracket. And so LGD will have a top 3 finish at the Summit and see if they can go further. They're going to be chilling for a while, as tomorrow we're probably going to play the other side of the bracket, and we won't get to see their opponents until tomorrow. But for now, they're going to finish the day off with a 2-1 victory over NP, 2-1 victory over Virtus Pro. They're feeling pretty good about themselves right now, and I think their strength right now is just their adjustment, or their ability to adapt to the opponent's strategy. And we saw it happen with NP, and now it's happening again against Virtus Pro. They were not really sure how to deal against NP's IO. Second game, they lost to it. Third game, they adjusted, they won the game. Now, same thing with Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro came out with a really strong Darkseer strategy with the Sven, Darkseer Warlock, Sven Death Prophet, Death Ball strat. I believe a lot of those heroes got banned out. I'm 90% sure that Pasha's Darkseer was banned out, and without that, Virtus Pro switched up their strategies a little bit. They tried out a what was the second game? They tried out EG strat, or as we call it, stolen strats, who knows. But they did the Phoenix tree, just did not work out at all against the Bat Rider. Tried again with this huge team fight lineup, Coddle, Void, and the Magnus, or maybe not Coddle, maybe he's not the biggest team fight hero, especially solo in this game. He had no gold. They had the Elder Titan, but just the supports felt clunky to deal with the Bat Rider. Once again, Bat Rider was probably the biggest deal in this game. They just didn't have the answers to him, and he just put too much pressure onto them. They were never able to get off a good team fight. They never had a fight go their way until the end, where LGD was just diving themselves in. So at that point, They were just so far ahead, it didn't matter. They got the combo off that they wanted. They got the chrono into the Earth Splitter. We saw it happen sometimes earlier in the game as well, but it just simply wasn't enough damage. Because afterwards, what was the follow-up? It was really the troll who needed to dish out the damage, but he just wasn't able to. So much kiting potential for LGD against him, and he was never able to get on top of a target and just do what a troll does. So, well played from LGD, being able to play around Virtus Pro and just give them a super hard time. It all goes down to this Bat Rider, and I would assume that in the future, teams might just consider banning LGD's Bat Rider Old 11, looking very solid on the hero. Definitely dominating performance from him in the early game and afterwards as well, with really good initiations. And not to knock the rest of his team there, maybe and Ame played extremely well as well. So in general, LGD looking like a well-oiled machine right now. They might run into some problems in maybe one game, but they're showing that they can adapt very quickly and turn around the series right away. So we'll see what the future has in store for them in terms of the Summit as well as TI, because I believe if they keep playing like this, they will secure themselves a direct invite to TI7. So that's going to be it for this one. This was very interesting to watch, as I did expect this out of LGD. Of course, they're not really playing against the strongest teams. I mean, NP is a strong team, Virtus Pro is a strong team, but it's how they fare against teams like OG, EG, and those teams that pretty much have secured themselves TI invite. Liquid as well, right? Is when we're gonna see how strong LGD truly are. But right now, against pretty decent opponents, they're stomping through these games. So the thing is, when they lose, they also kind of lose rough losses as well. But when they're ahead, they're not giving enemy teams any time to breathe, and that's something that is a detriment of a really strong team. And we'll see what the future has in store for them. As I said before, I would say they're a contender for a decent spot at TI right now. If they do get the direct invite, if they don't, I would say they're gonna probably qualify for sure, unless they just have a problem playing against Chinese teams, because sometimes that's the case. But against these Western teams, it's just 2 games, so can't say much off of it. But just from how they played those games, because a lot of times, yeah, sure, a team won, but it might be a sloppy victory. They might have just like eked through, but every single time I watch LGD win, it's always like clockwork. They really just dominate, and they don't give the enemy team any space. They play very fast, and that's just something that you really have to have a good feel of the patch and how you want to play draft as well, and they're showing it here. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed the live cast for now. It's a full best of 3. Got all 3 games in, and congratulations, LGD. See you guys in the next one, and peace out.